Welcome to the Teamwork and Resolving Conflict workshop, hosted by the Frederick Douglass Academic Success Center. Usually, when we face conflict, the problem gets lost in translation. So the first step in resolving conflict is identifying the issue. What is the problem? The next step is recognizing who is upset. Who has the problem? Do you have the problem, or do the person that you are opposing have the problem? The next question to ask is, why should this problem be solved? What is the common ground? And the final step in identifying the problem is understanding the resolution. How will I know this problem has been solved? The next step is understanding expectations. This is a vital step in resolving conflict. At times, we may not be aware of what the expectation is of us or of the expectations that we have of others. The conflict can be that we may be under expectations, but the cause is because we're not sure what to expect. Ineffective or poor communication. The causes of this conflict is usually misunderstanding due to poor listening, faulty perceptions, or incorrect assumptions. Another typical conflict will be lack of boundaries. The cause of lack of boundaries is conflict over time, personal space, or things. Another conflict could be interpersonal styles or attitudes. The causes of this conflict can be differences in races, religion, nationality, age, politics, ethics, or values. Most times, others' attitudes are not our problem. Another conflict could be conflict of interest, and the cause of this conflict is differences in motivations. Now that we are aware of typical conflicts, we are going to describe conflict resolutions. One resolution can be accommodating, which is resolving conflict by taking steps to satisfy the other person's demands at the expense of your own needs. In other words, you may have to be the bigger person. Another resolution could be avoiding, ignore, or avoid conflict. This will be used at your own leisure. Some situations are better to avoid because there may not be a practical solution to this particular conflict. Another resolution is compromising, which is acceptable resolution that will partly, but not entirely, satisfy the concerns of all parties involved. This is where both parties take and give. Each person will accommodate the other person's needs, and this is where common grounds are found. Another typical resolution is competing, where you satisfy their own desire at the expense of the other parties involved. And another one is collaborating, which involves finding a solution that entirely satisfies the concerns of all involved parties. This resolution is going to take a lot of teamwork and lots of listening and understanding. Now that we are aware of some common conflict resolutions, which of these works best for you? Advancing from the previous slide of typical conflict resolutions, we are now going to put it in motion with the THOMAS-KILMANN conflict mode. This is a tool developed to measure an individual's response to conflict situations. As you see before us, we have a chart, and we have it labeled into two categories: assertiveness and cooperativeness. Assertiveness focuses on my needs, desired outcome, and agenda. Cooperativeness focuses on others' needs and mutual relationships. Let's take competing, for example. Competing is a win-lose power struggle. Competing is high on the assertiveness, but very low on the cooperativeness. Another conflict we can look at is avoiding, which is withdrawing from the situation to maintain neutrality. Avoiding is low on the assertiveness and low on the cooperativeness as well. Accommodating is to accede to the other party to maintain harmony. Accommodating is high on the cooperativeness and low on assertiveness. So in this situation, when you accommodate, you are high on cooperating for the other person's need, but you are low on what you want out of the situation. Collaborating is high on the cooperativeness and high on the assertiveness. This is an expansion of possible options to achieve win-win outcomes. And the final is compromising. It's typically a lose-lose situation. It requires a moderate level of assertiveness and a moderate level of cooperativeness. I would like for you to take a few minutes to examine this chart. You may screenshot it if you would like. And think of some situations that you've been placed in. Which one of these conflict resolutions do you naturally go to? Do you usually avoid confrontation, or do you usually accommodate? With each of these resolutions in mind, think of some ways you can develop characteristics to incorporate different conflict resolutions. At this time, we will dive into managing conflict. You can manage conflict by active listening, which is intently focusing on the words of the individual. Most conflicts is a result of poor listening skills. At times, we are able to analyze the other person's body language. At times, we are able to analyze the other person's speech patterns. And using that formula, we are able to assess what the person is really trying to get across. An additional conflict management is emotional intelligence, which is the ability to recognize individuals' emotions. Another conflict management is impartiality, which is to separate the conflict from the people who are involved. This is a vital step in managing conflict. At times, we have to separate the person from the problem. At times, we make conflict very personal, and it begins to change our view of that person, and at times of people in general. Another conflict management is open communication. Open communication helps to foster a healthy relationship. Teamwork is a vital way to combat conflict. Listed for you are qualities of effective teamwork. Teams that work well together understand the strengths and weaknesses of each team members through delegation. You may delegate a task to a team member who is stronger in a particular area than you are. You may also delegate a task to a team member who may need to strengthen a particular skill. Effective teamwork has ideas. Collective ideas promotes productive and collaborative brainstorming sessions. Effective teamwork has support, which building bonds on trust and reliance helps maintain productivity. A strong and cohesive team develops systems that allow them to collaborate efficiently to complete tasks in a timely manner. Effective team communication is vital for effective teamwork. Having one-on-one interactions helps build relationships and trust. Effective team communication encourages feedback. Using active listening and encouraging open conversations. Effective team communication is also showing appreciation. Appreciation helps everyone feel appreciated within the group. Conducting team building activities like icebreakers or outdoor activities. Effective team communication uses appropriate communication. You focus on the emotional intelligence. Be sure to be aware of verbiage and tone when communicating. Effective team communication promotes communication and collaboration. Everyone deserves to be heard in the group and share ideas. Here is a challenge. Screenshot this chart and be sure to use each of these qualities with your next team interaction. In conclusion, thinking and planning carefully about how to use effective communication, like as discussed during this workshop, will make it possible for you to resolve conflict and establish great team building skills. At this time, we will now complete the quiz. Thank you for your time and dedication to your academic success. For additional questions and more information, email us at fdasc@morehouse.edu. Thank you.